It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
You interviewed Michael S. Schmidt.
Yeah, and we had to re-edit that one because Trevor didn't edit it.
What
Are we
happened?
recording yet?
Yeah, we just started by me saying you interviewed Michael S. Schmidt
Oh, good.
on
Yeah,
your podcast, Practicing Talking with Trevor Dion and Brianna Woodward.
we did. Yeah, Trevor uploaded the unedited version first, so for like 2 months.
Why do you edit your podcast?
Because I fuck up a lot.
So do I, but I just keep it going. I just power through.
I fuck up in the way where I will. It'll be boring to the listener. I feel like because
Fuck them.
You guys,
I don't do it for the
You
listener.
guys will hear it too if you're listening.
Please subscribe and like Bucked Up on YouTube.
Yeah,
As I say, fuck you.
but that's a great way to talk to your listeners. I like that. Go fuck yourself, guys.
Yeah, I'm like a harsh father, but they know I love them and I teach them a lot.
You got a strong hand.
I do. If the hand's open, it's not a problem.
I like that. Yeah, we have to edit it all the time because I have this. When I first got in my car accident, which I'm sure we'll talk about later because I won't shut the fuck up about it.
Dude, so you got in a car accident.
Yeah,
and you got a bad head injury.
I had a weird head injury where a lot of my memory is gone, and then also there will be like a very weird pause in my speech. So like if I'm talking and I can't remember something, I won't start stuttering, but my fucking brain will stutter.
So that actually happened to me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the reason I would like stand up is when I was young, I mean in high school, junior in high school, I got in a really bad hockey accident.
Oh,
And
you're your own Stephen King novel. You're like the beginning of Dead Zone.
yeah, all the bodies in my basement just add to the plot. But I got a really bad head injury and I had to lay in a dark room for 30 days with nothing. I couldn't even listen to music. All I could do was listen to people talk. I couldn't like talk myself, like have conversations.
Yeah.
So I just listened to stand up and I fell in love with it. And then I was like, all right, that's what I'm going to dedicate my life to. And podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
So it was a hockey injury?
Mm-hmm. But afterwards, I feel like I mumble and I also feel like I stutter a little bit. And I don't remember ever having that beforehand.
Okay. Yeah. Mine is similar in a way where it's like if I'm thinking of something, I'll have the answer, but my fucking it won't come out of my face for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trevor's a saint in the way where at the beginning he's edited parts where it's been like me literally struggling to talk. And now it's just become like, oh, this is the thing that Mike's doing now where he's trying to think about the answer and he knows it, but I'm not going to tell him. And we're going to fuck with him. So
I don't mean to do like podcast inception because I don't know how many listeners of this podcast want to just have their, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the reason I like doing video and I can do video is because I don't edit much. Like there's very few things I edit and I just put it out there and then I can cut clips and put those out to kind of build my base. But I kind of like, I think I like being able, like, look, I just
with the video would be too much.
It would be a lot of like cuts and stuff unless you're doing a 2-camera cut and then you can edit more.
Interesting.
But I think it would be nice to look back and be like, that's who I am. Just like, that's a chunk of me.
Yeah. Like Polaroids
like a series, like
years.
Saw 7. Here's a chunk of me.
Now you put all this on YouTube too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, fast. We haven't done the YouTube portion of our podcast yet. We're working on that. But I want to have video too before I do YouTube. Like I just don't want to put audio with like pictures rolling by because that's shitty.
Yeah, it is.
But
look how simple.
You showed me
it is
because we're in
your studio we're in your
we could,
studio. This is not my studio.
We could probably do it. I like the lights on your camera make my TV look like it has tits.
It also looks like an alien, like an abduction.
Yeah. And this table setting is making me feel like I'm trying to be Joe Rogan a little too much.
You don't
I'm
have
not
a-
enjoying the look of.
It's like
We're gonna have to change a lot of things before I get YouTube, guys. Sorry.
no, that's the point. Is you have to not give a
So
fuck.
weird. I care
Don't
too
look at
much.
yourself. Don't
I
look at
can't.
yourself.
I don't want. I can't
It's like-
stop now.
It's like when you're
nothing, you are perfect. Change nothing.
exactly. Thank you, Ani. But it's kind of like when you're like tripping
Oh yeah.
and you look at yourself and you're like, "That's what I look like." You know what I'm? And then you're like,
In the future.
and
as
when I
well?
see that, as I change myself, I usually try to change myself. But that's you looking into this. You're like, "That's what it is."
yeah,
but
I'm
it shouldn't
seeing the
matter.
future, and I'm already making adjustments. Like,
you shouldn't. It shouldn't matter. But you got this head injury. I just totally took your story and made it my own. And you just
no. I mean,
you got in a
there's-
car
They're
accident.
similar in the way. Like I had yeah, I got in a car accident because I was delivering too much food, and just like trying to make money while in between comedy jobs, and like I fell asleep while driving like a fucking idiot, and just right into another person's car. They were totally fine. People always ask that. I know to say that afterwards because like I tell the story and I
Mhm.
know the lady in the car was fine. She just had.
I feel like you wouldn't be
bender.
so willing to
Yeah.
tell the story if
I like killed the lady.
exactly. Yeah.
But I at the beginning I never told the oh she's totally fine. She
Mhm.
just had a fender bender and I just hit my head in a weird way. So people are like, "Did you kill a person?" And you're like feeling bad about yourself. Is that what we're dealing with?
No, but it fucks you up. The head injury,
I hit
How
the
long did it-
back of my head hit the seat.
and that's
which
what.
was the part that gave me the concussion.
Did you hit front and then
No, my
whiplash?
seatbelt, I wasn't even going that fast, but the way that I went back and the brake system is like the 30 miles that I was going 30 miles an hour. Like I wasn't going
Mhm.
very fast.
But sleeping
my
and driving
head hit
so
the
fun.
back of the seat at 30 miles an hour.
Oh,
so,
because you
like-
were leaning forward. Because you fell
'Cause
asleep and
all
were
of the
leaning
brakes
forward.
went off. So like the anti-lock brakes and like my fucking everything. And I went back at that same speed. So like I just got a really fucking nice dinger.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Dude, sleeping and driving
Maybe
is
3.
so fucking scary. Like, I've fallen asleep probably a handful of times, and now I'll pull over and I'll nap and drive. Like this, honestly, the people are like, why? But this is serious. Like pulling over in a rest area and taking a 15-minute power nap
Yeah.
is so much fucking like.
Red Bull, man, that's been the key for me.
I don't like caffeine. I don't like tea. I fucking bought a tea from Dunkin' Donuts on my way here and I haven't even drank it. Like I don't like caffeine. I don't like
Why
anything
not?
that brings me. I've never done Adderall. I've never done Coke. I don't like caffeine. I don't.
Interesting.
I'm a very.
I had to up my Adderall dose a little bit after my head injury because it was my ADD got kicked up a little bit.
I'm a very like anxious, fast person.
I don't know if this is
and-
true or not. I might be full of shit, but I think Adderall can be prescribed to people with concussions for like a small amount of time. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. I wasn't, and I'm happy I would. I'm happy I wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I feel like I've seen a lot of people.
Did your testosterone dip?
Probably.
Did you get your blood tested?
No,
We're gonna go full Joe Rogan right now.
I didn't get my blood tested.
Dude, you should get your blood tested. Have you ever had your blood tested?
No,
Your testosterone probably dipped. They'll give you steroids. You get jacked. Be great.
I don't. I lifted yesterday. I've been trying to get more into lifting, but I'm a runner. Like I just kind of enjoy running. And I think the reason I enjoy running is because like that was something that I was like not bullied about as a kid, but like I couldn't run. Like when my friends would be like, come on, I would like couldn't do it. And I'd like be really upset. And I remember
Yeah.
like crying one time, like when they were running, and I just couldn't do it. So now like I run.
What was preventing you from running?
I think just being a fat, lazy kid.
I'm
Like
did he have
myself.
polio? Why
No,
did he
I
not
think-
run?
I think that running is a mental thing. as is a lot of things in life, is you just have to be like, no, I can do it. I'm going to put my mind to it.
That's your
Like I was the kid who was like, I could never run, but everyone says that. And you can, because all I did was start for 10 minutes a day. I would literally run for 10 minutes a day.
Okay.
For like 60 days or 30 days.
When did you start?
3 years ago. 3
Okay.
years ago. Yeah. And I
10
ran
minutes.
6 miles on Christmas.
Okay. That's pretty good. Wait, why did you pick Christmas? It's January 4th.
Because that's
Did
the
you
longest
take a week
I've
off?
run.
Is that what?
No, I ran yesterday. I ran 2 days ago, I ran 3.5.
So you run every
miles.
day?
No, because I'm big, it's not good for my knees. I hurt my
Interesting.
calf that way running every day. And I had to take like 6 months off from running, and I became a dick. Like when I
Really?
couldn't run, I was a dick.
My wife's addicted to running. She runs every single day. And when she
Is she a
doesn't-
smaller frame?
yeah.
See, I'm a big guy. It's harder for me to go every day because it is like I'm definitely going to need knee surgery when I'm older.
You should box too if you like cardio.
I want to box. I literally was driving the other day being like, I want to learn how to box. My grandfather was like one of the top boxers in the Air Force.
I saw these really cool things on a commercial this morning. It was like early. I couldn't sleep either. I emailed them because I wanted them to be a sponsor of my podcast. They'll probably never email me back. But it was like this boxing heavy bag thing that they have, right? But on the heavy bag, it's also attached to a mat on the ground. And you can stand on that mat, and as you're like beating the fuck out of the heavy bag, it keeps count of like how many punches you've done and like your accuracy and shit like that.
That's
So
cool.
it's like a Peloton for punching bags.
I don't think you need to. Maybe boxing's different, and it probably is. But I like the idea of like teaching yourself something, like not going to a class. Like maybe that's what held me back growing up from doing things. I didn't like because I don't like comparing myself. Like I do, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like one of my least. One of my worst habits, I think, is like comparison.
Mhm.
And so when I was like in sports or with friends, like I would always be comparing, I'm not as good in blah, blah, blah. But with running, it's just myself. And it's like a thing I can teach myself and get better at.
Yeah,
That
you're
it's not the same reason I like yoga is it's like I just watch a video every day. I feel my body get better. Like I feel myself be able to like run better or lift better or just not be sore in the morning. And it's
Or,
nice
like,
that I
hold
don't
that
have to
yoga
like
posture a little longer.
yeah, and it's like I don't have to compare myself to other people in a class. I can just do it myself.
That's interesting. I always felt like comparing myself to other people has driven me farther, but also makes me kind of a prick in the way where like when I approached comedy for the first time, I was like ultra competitive, and that wasn't really
How long have you been doing stand-up? Because it's been a long time.
almost. I don't know if I should because of my head injury and the last year. I really don't think I should be saying I've been doing it for 10 years, but I've been doing it for 10 years. Yeah, that picture I posted was 2013. 2013. Okay, so 8 years, 8.5. Yeah. No, because I was working the door at Dick Doherty's 2 years before that.
So you've been doing it a long time.
10 years. It's got to be 10. My wife will know a definitive answer. She'll be like, you're talking shit on that podcast.
That fucking sucks having to take time off. Like with your head injury and
Well,
with
I'm not
like,
alone anymore.
No,
Which
but
is
I've been able to do not as much as before, but like I've been able to get my fix throughout quarantine.
Well, it was weird because I didn't think I was going to need to take any time off at all. Like when I got in my car accident and Trevor drove me because I just started getting booked at Kowloon doing the host spot there, and they don't accept fucking anybody. Like I auditioned 5 years previous, and it was a 5-person bringer, and they fucking said no. I was told the lady stopped listening to me 30 seconds into my set. And then I went back 5 years later. They said no again. And then I went back after 2 people recommended me, one of whom I don't even know to this day. And then I got a spot. And my second spot was the day after I got in my car accident, and Trevor drove me to the Kowloon because my car was fucked up and I wasn't able to drive. That Trevor Dion's a good guy.
Trevor is a great guy. Trevor booked me. Trevor Dion booked me on my first show I ever got booked on.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
I booked him on his first paid spot. But I was telling punchlines, like my whole set was fucked up in my head. So like I was saying the end of my jokes, but before I was saying the premise, and it was all out of order, like literally my sentences. And I got off stage and he was like, yeah, I don't know why you did that. Cause like you were talking like that the whole way there, you know? I don't know, man.
And that's how long did it take you to recover?
After that, it was like, I didn't want to get up. After that, we started recording like podcasts with Jessica.
Did you take any time off, like to just my doctor prescribed to me to like lay in a room and not do anything. So I could I didn't have.
I really wanted to do that spot at the Kowloon. So I did not stay home. But after that, I stayed in bed and like tried to not fucking do anything for a while, because the realization of like maybe I might not talk again correctly was pretty scary. And then we started recording episodes of our podcast.
Practicing talking.
Yeah, practicing talking. Like 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm probably fucking up the whole timeline. So you can...
No, that's fine.
You got to have Trevor on to confirm, but
I don't care about the timeline as much as this is actually a really interesting, this is crazy.
It was cool because,
and now I get the name, and I think that's us. Practicing Talking is an amazing name.
We did come up with the name. We got lucky with the name, I think, but and I think we also got lucky because we have people in Europe who listen a lot, and they're like from Russian shit. So I think they're listening, thinking like, "Oh, this is an English."
Oh, I'm going to learn English.
They're going to learn, and then I think we might just hook them in with our pure,
with your
charisma,
Michael S. Schmidt interview about his book "Donald Trump versus the United States."
That's probably mainly where we got a lot of our Russian interviews, listeners.
But you started that and mine happened when I was 16, and I don't know how much I don't think I have a speech impediment, but I definitely
your
think
amygdala isn't fully formed yet when you're 16. It takes until you're 28. So the impact of your head injury hadn't fully developed yet. You're still going through it. Isn't that fucking weird?
I'm just gonna hit 28 and be fucking
not
cucumber.
That significant of an impact, but I email with my neurologist a lot back and forth just because.
I'm gonna be honest, listeners. I just got so scared.
I won't stop trying to learn about the thing that happened to me, you know. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it would be like that big of an impact. But speaking from my medical history and my medical degree as a doctor,
Did you change? Were you the same type of person beforehand as you are afterwards?
I wouldn't say there was a huge change, but small things like loud stomping noises are a big thing for me.
But nothing to your personality.
A fucking huge anxiety attack. Personality wise, Trevor says I'm less of a dick a little bit. I don't know if that's 100% true. But no, not really anything crazy.
See, I think I'm a little less it knocked the fucking do it. Just like do what you want to do.
Drive.
Yeah, the drive and the do what you want to do.
That's interesting.
Like I feel like I feel like my life was like controlled up until that point. Like everything was like controlled. Like I had a family that like ran like the type of person I was going to be and like the future I was going to have.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, it like knocked the sense into me. And when I started listening to like podcasts and be like, oh, there's people who are just like doing what they want to do. It made me just be like, fuck it. And I think that's where most of my,
that's crazy. So at 16, you were like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And I didn't
How long have you been doing it?
So this is the thing is, so I talk about this on a lot of episodes, so I apologize, but so it happened when I was 16, and it happened to right maybe I was just about to turn 17. And then when I was 18, I went out to LA with my mom for a week just to go to the Comedy Store. My mom bought me a fake.
Your mom's fucking awesome.
My mom bought me a fake ID.
What?
So I could go to the Comedy Store because it's 21 plus. And so I went, and every single night she did her own thing. Every single night. Have you told
the story before?
A little bit, but not as much in this detail with
tell it on stage?
No, I haven't.
Shut the fuck up, Bert Kreischer. Why don't you tell your fucking story, you dickwad?
I went to the
machine. Tell me more about your fake ID and how your mom brought you to the Comedy Store and now you're a comedian.
But no one wants to hear that.
Tell me your closer. Tell me this is an awesome story.
It's too much. Like it's not. I don't like telling jokes about comedy.
Man.
I don't like telling jokes about.
Why don't you fucking tell us when you came on my podcast? Practicing talking, by the way.
You're gonna hear a lot of sex. You're gonna hear a lot of sex stories.
Let's hear it, Sam. I want to hear that fucking gold.
Excuse me. I set you up to have a great head injury story, and you fucking missed the putt. So let me.
Yeah. All right.
No, but I went out.
Did she really do that?
Yeah, she really did.
She brought you to the Comedy Store. She brought you she bought you a fake ID.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys sat down and watched comedy together. And she's like, here's your future, bro.
No, she wasn't there. She just let me do it.
She just left.
She was just like,
what a fucking badass.
Because I think yeah.
Jesus Christ. Your mom's got to write a book about parenting.
So
I got to read it.
My mom, no, this is the thing is my mom was the person who controlled me. Like but she was controlled by my I'm letting a lot out, but she was controlled by my grandmother her whole life. So that's all she knew. So when this happened to me, I think she kind of saw the change, and I think she was like, I guess if he's all in, what's the point not to let him be all in? Like she was like, you have to go to college. So like I went to college and I got my degree and I'm in debt from that, but like
don't worry, Joe Biden's gonna fix that.
Exactly.
Also, fuck you. Why don't you just cancel credit card debt, you idiot?
You can't do that on student loan debt.
I know you can't do that on student loan debt, but if all the people that didn't go to college throughout that opioid epidemic weren't in fucking credit card debt, maybe we wouldn't have an economic meltdown on the horizon, Joe.
Excuse me, that opioid epidemic helped you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Sure it did. That's why I can't get a job at McDonald's. Go on. Tell me more about your mom.
She is single.
I'm taken. Sorry.
No, but
she sounds great though.
But she let me go and do that.
She just left you there?
Yeah.
What year was this?
2015.
Oh, okay.
And I got on Kill Tony. Just randomly. Amazing. Like I had written
one of our first producers is in California now. He got on Kill Tony and now he's working with Sam
Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk to John. I've never met him, but I follow him and he's very interesting.
I went to fucking grade school with him.
That's so funny.
Best. His
He's
dad's his uncle's a rock star. He's fucking amazing.
that's crazy.
He's an amazing kid.
So I got on Kill Tony, and I was like 18 at the time,
Okay.
and so I just like blew my load of comedy. Like it was in the belly room. It was in front of my favorite comics. Like,
Yeah.
and then I got scared, and I didn't.
You
I
peaked. Did you peak?
So I had a great set. You can watch the set. It was a good set. Like
Do you still use some of the bits?
no, it was only one bit.
Okay.
I just did one. I tell minute long
Yeah,
bits.
yeah,
That's kind of like my like. And then I did it one time in between, and then I went back out to LA by myself the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I saved up money and I went out by myself for New Year's Eve, like for a week.
Okay.
And I got on Kill Tony again. Just
Amazing.
like, and that one was in the main room of the Comedy Store, sold out. Steve-O was the guest.
I've listened to that episode.
Yeah, and I stopped listening after I went on, so I didn't realize that they turned to like not like a good critique to like a roasting.
Oh no.
So they just roasted. I had an all right set, but they just roasted the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And I got upset. I was just like, that was like a second peak. It was like the opposite feeling.
Wait a minute. You're not the one guy who got mad on Kill Tony, are you?
No, I don't
Okay.
get mad. No, I don't get mad.
You took the beating
Yeah,
like
I took,
a man?
Yeah,
Okay.
I took the beating like
All
a
right.
man.
Okay.
I can laugh at the shit because I was nervous.
That's
I was
fine,
in it was the third time I ever did stand up, and I was in the main room, sold out of the Comedy Store with Steve-O and Tony
I'm
Hinchcliffe
such
on
a Kill
stage
Tony
and Red
nerd.
Band.
There's a specific comedian who's literally gotten mad while getting roasted, and he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm leaving," and like then came back, got roasted again, and did the same shit, and like just doesn't get that it's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad you weren't him.
No, I wasn't him. But then I like did it maybe 2 or 3 more times until my senior year of college. And then I just
so you
like,
didn't hit a rhythm.
and then my senior year of college, I just hit a rhythm. And I've been going for probably two years straight.
Because
now.
is it because you came back to this area and there wasn't like a community?
No, I was in college and I was scared. Like it was just, that was what it was. But when I got out of college, the world was free. Like I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
I had a full-time job. I was making good money,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have anything like, so I was like, I'm just going to put all my chips in this basket because I always wanted to.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I get mad that I didn't do that at 17, but I needed that life experience because I went through a whole drinking problem. I went through
I wrote all these jokes, but I didn't write them yet. I just lived them.
Breakups, whatever. Like I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that time.
That's interesting. I never had it. My wife, we were kind of dating at the time, brought me to a comedy show after I had been going through like a really shitty time in my life.
Were you a fan of comedy at that time?
Not really. I just like kind of watched it on Netflix. And my dad laughed at a Louis special. And I was like, "Oh, what is this thing?" Like,
That brought him joy. You were like, "This is the first time I've seen him smile."
Dude, my dad was dying at Chewed Up. Louis talking about his kids. And I was 19, 20 at the time, watching him laugh. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, never seen him uncontrollably laugh before. My dad's 6'4", and if he doesn't like you, he won't acknowledge you. So like you're just not even in his wheelhouse. Like he's literally looking over you. But like watching him laugh at like Louis was unbelievable. And then my wife brought me to fucking Dick Doherty's Thursday night 4-person bringer. And the lineup was Dan Crone, Dan Bolger, Sarah Martin. Who was the other person?
Those are all killers. All 3 of those are killers.
Well, one of them was on WTF. Bolger's been on late night twice. Sorry. Sarah Martin's in LA. and Dick Doherty, but he's a fuckface.
I don't know
He's
you,
on the
Dick,
lineup.
so please don't come after Bucked Up, which you can subscribe to on YouTube.
I'm sure you will. It's okay. Sorry.
No, I don't give a
It's
fuck.
gonna be okay, Dick. One of the things in like the early 2000s, late 90s was like if you don't get fired from Dick Doherty's, like you haven't made it in comedy yet. Dick Doherty's first advice to me in comedy was you should steal other people's material. And then I went to open mics and told other people's material to them.
So you followed his advice.
Yeah, I got the door job and then I got fired 4 years later and went to the studio and Rick was like, welcome. You've been fired from Dick Doherty's. You're now a comedian. Oh, I get it.
So you have been in it a long time. So though they were doing a bringer show, you were on that. And then did you fall into stride right away?
I went to watch that show.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to the open mic John Paul Rivera was running underneath Fenway. God, I wish I remember the name of it.
You just talked for a long ass time about having a head injury, so I don't think it's all right if you don't.
It's a good name too. It's like a Chinese restaurant somewhere. And he brought me up and I was doing other people's material. And he's like, you can't fucking do that. And then for a month, he brought me up as Mike Faggy and that was still okay to do. And yeah.
And you fell into stride after that?
Kind of. Getting the door job at Dick's was awesome. And then I found
like, when did you start like doing it multiple times a week?
Like right away. Like I did my first open mic and I ate shit and I was like, that can't be what happened. Like I need to do better than what just happened. And then it was kind of like weekly through that. I think I did it every day for like a month and then tried to like taper off because I was going through like an AA phase too. I stopped drinking at like 16. So
were you a heavy drinker before that?
No, but I was a heavy opioid user. So that would be, and if you go to NA, I found that you just find new drug dealers. You don't find help. But if you go to AA as an NA and just say you don't drink and then don't drink, you get the same help.
When did you start? Because at 16, if you're having a problem with opioids. So when did you start?
Probably 15, 16. I mean, the first time I touched opioids, it was it was perks, man. I liked them a lot. And I think I hit the ground running with that for like 5 years straight, and it was just straight to like 21.
How did you
18?
This might be such a stupid
19.
question. Like I didn't start smoking weed until I was 18. Like I don't, that was it easy to find like enough to have a problem at 15?
Yes. People will sell you drugs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, it still happens today.
I know it does, but it's like I guess like you, so it was only like a year that you had a problem before you started going to AA.
No, I crashed and burned for all the stupid shit I was doing in like a 3-year period. It was like sophomore year in high school until I ended up graduating high school online. I was just a complete fuck up. And you can listen to my podcast if you want to hear all about that, because it's literally a 3-hour story. But like at the tail end of that, I came out of it with a new ambition to try to find a thing to do, you know, because like when I do a thing, I like to do it all the way till the end, even if it's drugs.
What was your breaking point?
My breaking point was getting fucking arrested and getting, I'll sum it up in like, I'll try to sum it up in like a paragraph, but like I got arrested.
We have, you don't have to like shorten it to a paragraph.
I got arrested when I was 18 for robbing a pizza delivery driver who I thought had all of the drugs I ordered from him, but we got the wrong car. So it was just a regular pizza delivery driver. And me and my co-defendant got in a lot of trouble for doing that.
You were 18, so you could.
Yeah, and we were wearing a mask, so that comes with a mandatory minimum.
Were you armed?
Yeah, as I got charged with masked armed robbery and conspiracy. So like that carries a 5-year mandatory minimum in federal prison. And I didn't go to federal prison because I'm very white, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
In the climate we're in, you have to say that because the justice system worked in my favor in that way. But at the same time, like we were joking earlier, like I still can't get a job at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got my record sealed, but a simple Google search will show you that like I can't get a job at McDonald's. So like even if I do get my record sealed, it doesn't fucking matter because like people just know.
Did you? So of course that has affected you trying to get jobs.
Yeah, I can't get a regular job. So like you took the route, you got a job and you started making money, right? So like my only source of income at most points in my comedy career have been comedy, because every other source of income will not allow me to get a job doing that. Like I worked at a gas station for a while and I got a really good closing bit that Ellen DeGeneres does on her special.
Do you see like that as yourself?
As a felon?
No, just like going back. Do you see yourself getting to that point? Are you like, what path was I on?
It varies. If you ask me one day, I'll give you one answer, and if you ask me another day, I'll give you another one. Most days I try to look at it from a perspective of like, hey, there's 300 million Americans, like, and the opioid epidemic killed a lot of them, and we're not talking about that anymore because of Corona, but like at the same time, there was a significant portion of the population dying because CVS, Purdue Pharma, and the Sackler family decided they wanted to make a rap video and go fucking ape shit on all of us. Like, there are towns in Kansas. You're sitting in a town right now that's CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid sold more pills and filled more prescriptions than 300% of the population of my town. I've lived here my entire life. There's more people than in my town. 300%. How is that possible? How do they make that much money and do all that?
And who's held accountable? Like because I'm trying to sit here and be like,
I mean, they're getting held accountable now. You just fill your New York Times subscription and type in the word Sackler and you'll see it. But at the same time, like I can blame it on that, or I can blame it on the 16-year-old me who decided to snort that fucking pill and get addicted. And that's the way my brain chemistry reacted to that thing.
And you didn't like,
but like, I don't know how to fucking do it anymore. Like ask me tomorrow and I'll be like, well, it was a choice I made. And like, I don't know. Yeah. It's crazy because with the perspective and if that I have today, and with the knowledge that is coming to light for everybody, if you want to just look at how much money that Purdue Pharma made during the height of the opioid epidemic, you can go to sec.com, man. It's right there, .gov. But like, it's really difficult to pin down how I feel about it as a whole, because it's like, well, I didn't go to jail either. So like, that's awesome. Like I went to jail for longer than I think any human should be in jail, but like I didn't go to prison. I'm lucky.
How long were you in jail for?
I was in solitary confinement for a week. I was in jail for 3 days, and then I was in this weird ass in between Cambridge jail thing for like, I don't know how long. But I didn't go to prison when I probably should have, you know, like if I had a different skin tone, I would be getting out of jail like a couple months from now. I used to say that, but that's not true because it would be like a year ago. But still, It's fucked up, you know?
That is fucked up. You're a very calm.
That's
guy.
hilarious. My family would tell
We've
you
talked
differently.
about this. We've talked about like how you're an angry guy too. And I have anger.
Yeah.
People always are like, you're angry. Like,
yeah.
but talk to any of my exes. Like, honestly, like, I'm sorry, but it's a problem
For
that
real.
I try to work on.
Yeah.
And it's something that's serious, but it's almost like people who don't have it don't understand it. Like, it's not something you can really control. I do things. I meditate. I do yoga. I run to try to control it, but it's hard to. But like, you seem calm. Like, you do seem calm.
Weed helps.
Yeah. But you get to a place where it's like you can't help yourself.
I mean, it's different.
I don't mean like
when I have anxiety, my anxiety comes out in anger, which is fucked up.
Because
Right?
it's fear, right? Yeah.
So like my kids will see my kids provide me with a lot of anxiety. I have 2 stepkids, and they're like preteens and a teenager. So like they provide me with a lot of anxiety. Given the story I just told you about how the end of my teens happened, like I'm very hyper focused on that not happening to them. And it makes me a fucking dick like a lot of the time. And I try not to be, because it's like, that's exactly who you don't want to be, is that asshole stepdad. But like, I am so afraid, and my anxiety comes out in fear because I don't want what happened to me to happen to them, even on a micro scale. You know what I mean? So like, it's terrifying.
So like my dad was an angry guy, and I think he was also very loving, and his fear came out in anxiety. That was the thing.
It's interesting.
And like my dad will probably be listening to this, and he's like, I love him, and he's very
Mr.
kind
Buck,
and loving.
what did you do?
No, but that wasn't it. But it's a lot of other scenarios.
No, I meant, what did you do to translate that anxiety into not anger?
Oh, well, it's funny. I think
Not what did you do to your
you
son,
have to
Mr.
let
Buck?
you have to let, like, when I look back, and if I become a dad, when I become a dad, I might lose this clarity now. You know what I mean? But right now, just being 23, coming out of it and having perspective in the real world, looking back on it, it's like whenever they wanted to push what they wished their childhood was like onto me, whether my dad was sports or my mom was school, it made me go the opposite way. Like, I'm a comedian who smokes weed. Like, that's probably not who they wanted, but I fucking work hard, and I like try to help myself, and I'm always trying to better myself. But it's like, it's tough though, because they did let me do what I wanted, but you don't know what you want. It's like such a tough thing.
I think that's a key point that a lot of people struggle with. And I see my kids struggle with a lot too, is finding out what it is or who you want to be. Right. So like, we know we want to be comics, and like, we want to tell jokes for a living. Like, that's been the goal for me for so long that like, even when I got there, it was somehow like not enough. So I had to like make this other thing. You know what I mean? So like, like, I think a lot of people will struggle with, what am I going to do, and how am I going to do it? You know, and like my stepson in particular, I think our biggest struggle with him right now is like, screens are fucking inevitable. Like, they're bad. We know they're bad, but he does school on them now. So when he gets out of school and he wants to do what he like, his passions, like he likes video editing and doing all these fucking cool things on YouTube, and he wants to be that. Like, he wants to do that. And I don't know shit about it, and I'm not supposed to, which is fine. Do your creative thing. But like, now that screens are part of school. Like, how do I not fuck up your like retina, like your physical health and your mental health, and then not diminish your passion when like we're stuck inside on screens all the time, you know? That's what we're struggling with him the most, is how do I make him exactly who he wants to be and like push that rocket ship to fly without like fucking it up and lift off.
I think it's the same way that I think I learned how to take care of myself through podcasting.
I think I'd agree with that.
I learned how to like, you know, take care of my mental state, my physical state, how to follow my dreams. These are all things I learned through podcasting from people who weren't directly telling it to me, but wanted to give me knowledge and information. So I hope that I can take that on and be like, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'll let you do, but I'm going to give you all the knowledge. I'm going to tell you how maybe those screens fuck you up. Or I'm going to tell you how you can eat sugar, but I'm going to tell you how bad that is for your body. I'm going to tell you how if you don't stretch every day when you're 40, like I saw my grandfather
because like
lose all motion.
Yeah.
Like that's from not doing anything. Like I'm scared of that.
When you have kids though,
I'm
so fucking crazy to watch. Like, cause I'm like, all right, sugar's bad for you, right? And screens are bad for you. As I'm like scrolling through Twitter, I'm no saint, but like to watch that the impact of you saying something, have little to actual no impact on them at all.
But they don't have money.
The craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like I have perspective. I understand the thing that I am saying to be correct for me, right? I know I'm not always right. I'm a fuck up. We've been over that. But like I know it to be right for me, right? So if I know it to be right for me, then I assume it is right for them, right? But when I present them with that, it automatically becomes wrong, like you were saying.
But
so
I
like,
was
even if I know screens are wrong and I tell them screens are wrong in the way that it's too much, and I know I'm doing it too, and the world is this way, then automatically I'm wrong because I'm the one telling them in that way. You know what I mean? It's like this weird fucking paradigm.
But
like,
they also don't. So I
and then I'm a stepfather on top of that, which means I don't get forgiveness.
That's true. So I was a fat fuck kid. And I also developed an eating disorder because my family told me so much. Like
too much.
But that food was in the house. It's not like
that's hilarious.
But it's not like I had my own money and I was going out and like spending all my money on fucking Twizzlers all day.
McDonald's then.
Literally, it's like, well, then stop filling a refrigerator with fucking snacks and
Cookies
a freezer with freezer, and I can open up a drawer and it's all cookies. It's kind of like
that's a great metaphor for screens right now.
But it's it's me asking you that stupid question about you're 15 and you found perks. It's like, it's like, these kids are going to find cookies.
Someone gave them to me and then they started selling them.
That's the thing with sweets, though.
Because they were making money.
It's like, you have them in the house, so of course I'm going to eat them. Like, and that was my problem. Is like, when I went to college and I started really caring about my health, I was like, okay, I can't buy myself snacks because I know the type of person I am and I know I'm going to eat those snacks. Same reason I've never done pills. Same reason I've never done coke is because I know if I have one good writing session on an Adderall, then I'm going to be taking them every day trying to. Yeah. That's the reason I'm addicted to running. Like it's the same
Did you watch that
gene.
movie about Adderall?
No.
The Netflix documentary.
No, I didn't.
They spent this like 2.5 hour documentary telling people that like Adderall only heightens the function of your brain that gives you the like ability to be motivated to do the thing that you're doing. It doesn't actually make you better at it. And it's like, that's what I need, you fucking idiots. Like, why do you think it's a pill? Why are we doing what are you? You mean it's a drug that makes you think you're doing a better job? Okay. And in turn, you do a better job? All right.
To be fair, I think that's what weed does to me is whenever I smoke weed, I'm like, I'm doing these things better than I did.
It does, Sam. Yeah, no, it literally heightens that part of your fucking brain functionality.
Yeah.
But they don't want you to have it.
But I've never touched that other stuff. And it's also funny how much alcohol my family used to buy for me. Like I developed.
Oh, that's
I'm sorry if
So they didn't
my
have, like, the
family even
stigma?
listens to this, but like, no, like they bought me so much alcohol when I was in college that I just drank it all.
Yeah.
Like if I got a free 30 pack of Natty Light, that's gone in 2 days myself. I'm an only child. I've never had this free flow to alcohol.
Dude, that's so. You look like a kid I sold Percocet to. Taking trips to UMass Amherst and Dartmouth to sell LSD.
But I started drinking too much because it was readily available.
Where did you go to college?
Wheaton College.
Where is that?
Norton, Mass. It's a small liberal arts college. But that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't like parties. Like, I was just drinking by myself in my room.
That is the saddest college experience.
We had parties and stuff, but not like frat
I
parties.
was just drinking alone in my room.
I actually enjoyed it because I was able to learn that like that stuff isn't worth it.
Oh, yeah, because that'll happen.
Exactly. So when I got out of college, everyone's still kind of doing that thing, but I'm like, no, I'm going to focus on my path.
Yeah, you chose not alcoholism.
Exactly. But I think a lot of people don't realize that until their late 20s or 30s or never.
Yeah. I think it's scary when people can't figure out what they want to do. And it's like very obvious. So they just kind of like go through life and they're doing their job or doing their thing, but they don't actually have a thing that creates purpose, you know?
It makes me scared and sad to hang with people who are like that, who don't have like a purpose. But I have people who I love in my life and I want to pull them out, but I know that's not my job, but I still want to give them the attention that they deserve. But it makes me sad to just see this stagnant state.
Yeah. I had that when I was like, I don't go to AA anymore, and you can tell by the bongs I'm not a huge advocate for it. Like
you should see the cross around his neck.
Me and Jesus, we go way back.
That was the guy who gave you your first perk.
Yeah. Shout out Willie D. What the fuck was I saying?
You're not a big advocate for AA, but the stagnant moment.
Yeah, that's what I found is like, so if you go to AA when you're like 18, you know, like, and you stick with it for 2 or 3 years, like it's a lot of people don't hang around, and then the people that do, that's their whole life. So like that's where they found their purpose. But that is a fucking bleak ass purpose if you're an 18-year-old who like might have had a drinking problem but definitely had a Percocet problem. Like that, going to like AA meetings for the next 40 years, like that wasn't my purpose. So I found that to become like stagnant after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you just living for that next fucking AA chip? Which is not to put people who are doing that, like, you need the tool in your tool belt to get help. But like, I get worrisome too, because like, I don't even comics, like I don't want to be around stagnant comedians.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, there needs to be progress or we're going to get stuck. And I'm fucking terrified of that.
But see, you went through all this stuff and you came out with that knowledge.
What just happened?
The dog's donut fell. We both. There's a dog sleeping in the back of this podcast.
It's my dog Lucy, everybody.
But you came out of one of the toughest experiences you could. The worst outcomes.
I got lucky in a really shitty circumstance.
You did, but it's a bad outcome.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you got knowledge from it.
Yeah, I got grown up very fast.
And I got the knowledge I got the knowledge from seeing other people fuck up a lot, and then a very quick 4 years of learning. I grew up very fast in my 4 years of college, and I got that knowledge. And you need that hardship. I think you went through a lot more than I did. I'm not gonna speak, and I also don't mean to I don't want to like speak for you, but like you need that to come out. So whatever like your stepson's hardship is gonna be his own, and he needs to kind of naturally go through that.
No, it's just like what is it? It's like Monday quarterback. Like you're watching the thing get built, and you're like, I can't stop fucking with it. Like it's. I don't know. I enjoy being a step parent because they've been through all of the shittiest parts of my life too. Mm-hmm. And like watching them grow, having watched that experience is amazing too, because it's like, oh, you're not fucking up the way I was when I was your age. And I can remember like having the same thought processes and shit.
But they didn't go through the same stuff that probably drove you to that stuff.
Sometimes I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Don't you understand what I saw? That was my mom.
And do you think they understand? How old are they?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
No problem. Do you think they understand?
14 and 12, and they do. They understand more than any of their friends understand, like the complexities of shit. Like I can have real conversations with them about actual things. Like I talked to my stepdaughter about the fucking stimulus fuck ups, and she's like, that Mitch McConnell's at it again. Like she gets it. She gets all the shit. She understands. And I think that has to do with the parenting that my wife, you know, laid before I had arrived, and her partner at that time did. And also just like what we've kind of cultivated as a family sense. Like we don't care about swearing. We don't hide. I used to do drugs. We don't hide that like weed's a medicine that helps people. Like it's just, we try to make it as easy for them to see everything. Like I don't like hiding shit from my kids.
That's weird. Dude, that's what's going to make them great though. And they might,
maybe I'm fucking them up.
No, because, okay. So like I was talked to kind of as an adult, and I think that hurt my friendships growing up. But once I got to 18, and when it doesn't matter when you're not stuck with an age group, you make friends. And I think that is like, you're kind of helping them be able to be like, it's not as hard. Like you're not putting them through the nom, but you're also giving them things to be like, I'm going to show you, you know, and that's what you need. You need the kind of like, I'm going to show you, like, that's what drives me. Like if everything's perfect, then what's
the fucking point?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, my sister just had a kid. So she's older than me too. So she's just kind of getting she just had a kid. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see that evolution in her too. You know, like it's cool to see people get that, you know, like I'm 28 and I'm going to be 29. So like me saying it's cool to see people have kids and evolve as people sounds stupid to somebody who's 36 and is going to have a kid. But like, I feel like I sometimes I feel like I skip my 20s and I'm just 30 and I have been for a while.
But you came out like a microcosm of shit with like, you have a family, you have like a passion, you went through hardship, you have things to learn and to teach. Like,
yeah, like
it's weird to me to see people go after like, I just want a relationship. You know?
Oh, like just go after one aspect of their life.
Exactly. And it's like that's
I'm gonna
like,
fix my health this year.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, like you went through this shit and you have a family and you really care and you love and that's shown in the way that you talk about them and everything.
Tell them that.
Have them listen to, just clip this and send it
send
to
me
them.
that, would you? Also, every time they're yelling at me, I'm like, look at this shit. Look at it.
But I also don't live with you, so I'm not.
Oh yeah, I'm a total piece of shit sometimes too. Like, don't get me wrong.
But you're self-aware about it, and I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that like matters. Is you are wanting to be better. You are
yeah.
like
They've also seen me through my early 20s though. Like my stepkids saw me learn how to be a stepdad through my early 20s. So like that wasn't easy for them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I
still
couldn't
am.
imagine being
And
like you. When did you become their stepdad? Or when did you?
Me and my wife got married. We're such hippies.
How old were you?
We don't keep track of our anniversaries.
No problem. How old were you? This is all I'm trying to.
22.
So you were younger than I am right now, and I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine doing that shit.
21. I think it was 22.
See, I'm 23, about to turn 24. Like you went like we're on very
okay,
different
interesting.
life trajectory.
We're
you
just
know,
a president apart.
but that's wild. Like you've built this thing, this family, and this life.
Man. So like you don't remember 9/11, but I only pretty much that's when I turned on.
I do remember 9/11 because I was ice skating and then the Twin Towers fell and then I had to stop ice skating.
I was at school and then they were like, we're not doing school anymore.
I was like, I can't ice skate.
There might not be schools tomorrow, guys. We gotta shut this shit down.
Let me ice skate.
Isn't it crazy? 3 planes, and I'm not trying to minimize 9/11 in any way, but like, isn't it crazy? Like 3 planes fell out of the sky that day, and they did it on purpose, but they fucked up Boeing 747s, like a whole fleet of them, and for a year they were all falling out of the sky, and like we don't really remember that much. Like they just started putting them back up in the air last week.
Yeah, because there's other shit to worry about. There's the corona. There's the
Not that many people on planes anymore.
There's the stimmy checks. There's
Crazy.
Thank you for being on.
Oh yeah, this is a good podcast, man, because I lost track of time and I have no idea how long we've been.
We did like an hour and 10. Holla back.
Practicing talking, people. Listen to me mumble.
You really should. His podcast is great. I was on it. That episode will come out someday.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And this has been Bucked Up. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. And
can I plug Trevor and Brianna?
Oh yeah, dude. Yes, please do.
Because they're fucking great. Go back and listen to early episodes of Bucked Up with Brianna Woodward, our new producer.
She's fantastic.
Follow her on Instagram at Not a Damn Cheese. And Trevor Dion, you can follow him at chess.com at TNT Dion, and send him a message. Tell him that he's bad at chess and that you should give our podcast 3 stars. Okay, thanks. Bye.
But also congratulate him for losing a lot of weight. All right. Thanks for being on, man. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.